a busy 3 market days at the Africa Investment Forum. The representatives of development banks, of governments, of private institutions and private companies from different countries, both in Africa and outside Africa, sealed deals, had connections and conversations they couldn't have even before now. Meetings and interactions like this is how the forum has catalyzed $225 billion in investment since it started in 2018. However, with the continent still in need of about $170 billion annually to close the infrastructural gap, especially in energy sufficiency, there's the obvious need to unlock more capital and eliminate hurdles, perceived or real, that may deter investors.
We see that interest in renewable energy is strong, but the enabling environment often creates delays that become difficult to overcome. And these challenges are not theoretical. They are operational, financial, regulatory, and logistic.
Africa's under 2% investment in global renewable energy, despite holding 60% of the world's solar resources, among other potentials in wind and geothermal, points to the need to de-risk investments.
In the case of energy, and energy, accounts for almost 30% of MIGA's exposure in Africa, utilizing the key risks such as breach of contract, which is the offtake risk, we're backstopping offtake, as well as things like currency transfer restriction and convertibility risks.
In order to unlock the potential of the renewable energy, it is very important to have an appropriate funding system for the grid infrastructure. It is also very important to look at the local development.
The case of Nigeria's reform in the energy sector is also on the table.
And one of the constraints, obviously, is that Nigeria does not yet have a market-reflective tariff structure across board. Also, there are backlogs of obligations to the GENCOs. Now, we think that an institution like AFDB can play a critical role in addressing the constraints to raising that capital.
Nigeria gets attention again at the high-level panel on mobilizing domestic capital to drive Africa's growth.
We hold a large pool, over 2 trillion of pension insurance and assets under management. And we do have nascent and developing capital markets. And such an example presents the opportunity to really leverage domestic resources, reduce obviously dependency on volatility in exchange rate, but also importantly is actually strengthening local capacity.
The conversations may have given a level of respite to investors as the president of the African Development Group, Mr. Sidi Uttar, announced at the closing ceremony. He highlights the evidence of this to include the achievement of 39 bankable projects at this year's market days, the commitment of $15.26 billion dedicated to projects spanning 19 countries. Africa does not lack capital. What it lacks is integration and coordination among countries on the continent. And another major need, according to those who participated, is that there's a need to build strong institutions to de-risk the capital, and that will encourage even more capital from the private sector. So as Africa Investment Forum plans for 2026, it is with anticipation that they will come back with greater and brighter stories after this meeting. I'm Ini John Mekwa, been reporting from here, Rabat, the capital of Morocco, for Channels Television News.